Great pleasure right now to welcome to our show today a woman who has co-written a book. I think it's going to help a lot of people. Unfortunately, many are looking for work, but even if you have a job, it's probably going to help you. It's called the Web 2.0 Job Finder, Winning Social Media Strategies to Get the Job You Want from Fortune 500 Hiring Pros. We're joined by Coleen Byrne today. How are you, Coleen?
Good, and thanks so much for taking the time to have us on the show.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
When I saw it from our friends over at Newman, the PR firm, I wanted to have you on. I always enjoy reading these types of books that have to deal with media and technology, social media, and then you kind of combine it all in this book. Because I guess social media has really changed the way people are looking for work. I mean, it's not the traditional, send out the resume anymore, is it?
No, it's not. And what we did for the book is we interviewed actually Fortune 500 hiring pros. So, you get the HR folks, the recruiters, really to get the insight from them on what people are doing in terms of getting jobs and how they're actually going out finding people. So they provided some really great tips and tricks on, how to get yourself noticed online and how they're using social to find recruits.
I always thought that high schools and colleges really missed the boat on not having a credit course, and something you have to take on how to find work.
Yeah.
I don't know if it came across up in your interviews with some of these Fortune 500 CEOs, but don't you think that would help a lot of people?
I think it would definitely help in today's day and age because, you figure especially with all the social stuff that's going on, a lot of the new college grads are going into the workforce. A big way that people are out there finding recruits and getting themselves noticed is utilizing social. So, I think people as a resource, they turn to their parents and, to look for guidance and help in finding jobs. And, sorry, but most parents aren't really going to know how to really give their kids the guidance on using social media and getting themselves noticed, and just kind of the do's and don'ts of what they should be doing and stuff. So I think it's a great resource for college grads because again, parents just don't know this type of information.
What would you say right now is the best way to go about it? You talk about creating a brand. How do you do that? Let's say you're a college student, maybe a senior. You're going to be looking for a job in the next couple of months. What's the first thing they should do?
Sure. Well, I think it's really critical for people to think about, what is your brand and what is your online brand, and any information that you're putting out there online starts to develop what your online brand is or what your brand is. And so really taking the time to sit back and think about the information that you're putting out there about yourself. I would recommend, and based on the folks that I spoke to, especially for job purposes, get a LinkedIn profile up and running. And I personally think it's a great resource for college grads. I would start building my network. In college, you're doing your summer internships, you have your summer jobs, and to start, developing your network and building out that network, I think it's only going to help them in the long run. So, I would encourage them. A lot of college students, are up on Facebook, but a lot of them don't have LinkedIn profiles yet. So, I would really encourage them to get a LinkedIn profile up and running and really, again, summertime, summer jobs, whether it's, they're working at a restaurant or working at, an advertising agency, get the folks in there because when you're looking for a job come college graduation, tapping into those people could really help you.
LinkedIn seems to be more of the business-oriented social media. I guess Facebook, although that is kind of changing now too, isn't it? But in the past, I guess Facebook was more just for recreational purposes, but I guess they're kind of melding, aren't they, all of them together?
Yeah, they are. The folks that we spoke to, the Fortune 500, hiring pros, they pretty much, LinkedIn was a site that they tended to turn to. Mm-hmm. Some of the recruiters that we spoke to that were focusing more on, recruitment programs for kids just entering the workforce, they were using Facebook and Twitter and such, to kind of tap into that audience. But, I think you nailed it when you say that, Facebook is definitely starting to, tap into that market. I think, there's a lot of applications on Facebook that are, out there, and, I'm sure people are starting to hear from, like, Branched Out and all these applications that are starting to, turn Facebook, which, I think historically has been more for personal use, into more of a business site. So I think you'll start to see more of it. I think what will be interesting down the line is to it's just in terms of people's time. I mean, how many social sites are you really going to be on? And so it will be interesting to see if people, from a product adoption standpoint, if they, tap into, multiple sites, or if they tend to just use one. But I think with LinkedIn, I think you pretty much you've nailed it, because from first in that space and really owning that market, they've done a great job. And so again, it's, one only has so much time in a day, and how much time can one spend utilizing social and online and being on your computer.
And you talk about in the book how to go about approaching maybe a particular company. You can research a particular place you might want to work, and then you try and find what the HR person maybe on LinkedIn and just ask for some information. Is that the best way to go about it?
Definitely. I mean, I just think that, if I were out there looking for a job right now, you identify the companies that you're really interested in, and you want to make sure things about, you want to do as much research as you can to get to know the company. A company might sound great, but from a corporate culture, it might not be the right fit for you. So making sure that, when you're evaluating companies, make sure you're evaluating the corporate culture and making sure that that's going to be something that works for you. And a lot of that research can be done online. I think a lot of companies out there are, building either on their website or have Facebook pages where you can kind of do a lot of that research. But yeah, I mean, if I was out there looking for a job, I'd identify the companies, and then I'd start to, identify the HR folks. If I was very specific about the department that I wanted to work in, seeing if there was anybody in my network, say I wanted to work for Pepsi and I wanted to do marketing, seeing maybe if somebody in my network had either a friend or a contact that was possibly in the marketing group at Pepsi, so that I could tap into that person and, just dig a little deeper into, what kind of jobs are available, what types of people they hire, what kind of backgrounds they look at, so that you can really make sure that, you're the right fit for that job, and to make sure it's something that you'd really like to do.
Well, give an example, if you could, maybe something you should not do. I know a lot of people are putting things online that maybe can come back to haunt them, right?
Yeah, and so that's, what we recommend in the book, and is to do a search on yourself just to see the type of information that's popping up. And, the things that you just want to think about is, or things that you want to think about would be, pictures that you have posted. When you're updating your Facebook profile or doing some microblogging, or you have a blog, what type of information are you putting up there? An example that one of the HR folks gave to me was that they were at the final hiring, the final process of hiring somebody for a Fortune 500 company, and he was kind of just doing his due diligence and did a search on this person, and he uncovered that this person had a blog, and on his blog, he was kind of ranting and raving about his former colleagues and how he thought, they were horrible, and he wanted to go in there some days and just, kill them all. And, that's the kind of stuff you want to avoid.
Not a good idea.
No, and he had to call up this person and have that conversation, saying, hey, you know what, we thought you were great, but we're not going to hire you based on this information that you posted. And, they had to have that frank conversation, whereas, the HR person didn't necessarily think this person was going to go in and, kill everybody that, they worked with, but, God forbid anything like that ever happened. That would be a huge oversight on his part. So you just want to be careful of the tone you're using, the information that you're putting out there. Also, even things like spelling, people look at that and they start to kind of develop, just an opinion on, is this person a good communicator? I think because the web in general is starting to really, come into play in so many verticals and businesses, people want to make sure that people have the appropriate web, etiquette, and are putting information out there that's positive and well received.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool, but like anything, it can get cluttered up, and I think so many people put stuff on there that they regret later on, and so you have to use it. I guess don't put anything out there you wouldn't want your mother to see, right?
Exactly. That could come back and bite you in the butt down the road. So, yeah, you just want to be careful, and I think, in today's day and age with your teenagers and such getting online at an earlier age, it just kind of opens you up and, to start putting some things up there that are maybe not the most appropriate things.
Well, it's a book, really. You got great information in there, Coleen. Also, your co-writer, Brenda Green. You've really done a great job of kind of condensing it down. It's an easy read, and it's called the Web 2.0 Job Finder. And Coleen, they give a website people can get a hold of the book, or maybe ask you a question online if you want.
Yep, if you want to contact either me or Brenda, we have a website that has information about the book and all of the information if you want to connect with us, either via Twitter, via LinkedIn. We have all of our information up there, and it's www.web20jobfinder.com, and the book is available at all of the major book distributors, so you can find it online at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. So, hoping people that pick up a copy, and would love people's feedback on if they like the book or not.
Great. Yeah, pleasure talking to you, Coleen, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.